All right. There you have it. And of course, that made them 82 points. Arsenal still in second position, 67. They still have some battle to do there. It might not just easily come to them. But like I mentioned earlier, the major thing is this particular point. Now, you have 5 clubs who will be fighting for 3 positions, and it could go anywhere. Newcastle now, there are 5 teams that are going to be going straight into the Champions League. Now, so what happens is that Manchester United can make England have 6 teams if they do win the Europa League. Of course, there's also Tottenham. So if an English team should win the Europa League, that team would have a straight bye into the group stage of the Champions League or the Champions League phase. So any of these teams is going to be a battle. Nottingham Forest, of course, who lost to Manchester City in the FA Cup. They have 1 match in hand. If they do win this match, it's 63 points. They go up into 3rd position, just above Newcastle. I'll get to see how all of that happens. Now, just before I go into all of this, a number of people have been talking about Liverpool. Did Arne Slot, did he just inherit a team from Jurgen Klopp and didn't get to work so much? So there's that debate on social media. What do you think? You can let us know. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Let's know what you think. Do you think that this thing just came to Arne Slot? Do you think that he didn't have to do so much? Because a debate now started online, Arne Slot versus Mikel Arteta, who's the better coach? And I'm wondering, why should such a debate come up? Arne Slot versus Mikel Arteta. Well, a lot of people would say, oh yes, considering when Arsene Wenger left Arsenal up until, Mikel Arteta, there's so much work that has had to be done. But for me, I would go for Arne Slot because when this season started, recall that nobody gave Liverpool that chance. And Jurgen Klopp has only won 1 league title out of the 8.5 to 9 seasons that he was at Liverpool. Just 1. And then the team, in quote, was waning at this particular point in time. Arne Slot coming in now, of course, credit to Klopp. There'll always be credit to who came over. But you see, succession doesn't always happen easily. Ferguson won the title in his last season. What happened since then up until now? I mean, look at what has happened to even Arsenal. At least you had Arsene Wenger who won 3 titles, 3 titles, Arsenal and all of that up until this point, and then of course making Champions League. Look how hard it took Mikel Arteta. His first season was 8. So succession is not normally, it doesn't just happen and it's easy up until the next person that gets it. So we have to give credit to who credit is due. And yep, Liverpool have now joined the Wall of Champions. Now this is from 1992 in the current Premier League as it stands right now. Before 1992, they're still in Premier League, but then when it was renamed, it was just a name change. But total titles that they've had so far, looking at everything, that's talking about Liverpool, 20. Now, Liverpool and Manchester United have the same number of titles, but what happens? Liverpool have more Champions League titles, and altogether, I think they have 2 more now. It's about 68, 66. I would have to check and confirm that, but yes, they are now on top with Manchester United. Of course, next up is Arsenal with 13 league titles. Manchester City, Pep Guardiola has a lot to do with this particular number, why it came up to this. They have 10, Everton 9, Aston Villa 7. So you see, Aston Villa even have more Premier League titles than Chelsea. Yeah, you see there, Chelsea have 7. Of course, Newcastle, there's Wolves, Leeds, there's Blackburn Rovers, and all of that up until even Sheffield have 1 league title. Teams that have 1 league title, Leicester City, of course, the Ipswich Town, Nottingham Forest, West Bromwich Albion, they do have 1 league title. So there you have it there, Mohamed Salah quite on top. And this selfie really made the rounds. Mohamed Salah celebrating his goal, that 5-1 win with that selfie. And all of that. But this is also what I want to talk about. Managers to win the Premier League in their first season. Of course, you have Carlo Ancelotti. Let's start with the first person, Jose Mourinho. I still remember that season, Alex Ferguson season. That was that record-breaking season for Chelsea. I think they considered, 15 goals in the whole season? Massive for them. Jose Mourinho in 2004, 2005. No matter what Mourinho is at the moment, we have to give him his flowers. OG. At his peak, the special one, he really made the EPL quite interesting. So Jose Mourinho, 2004, 2005. Carlo Ancelotti also in Chelsea, 2009, 2010. Of course, there was Manuel Pellegrini. So you see, Man City already had a platform before Pep Guardiola came in. Not taking anything away from Pep Guardiola's brilliance, but there were 2 titles before he even came in, right? So Manuel Pellegrini, 2013, 2014. Chelsea managers. That's one thing I love Chelsea. Enzo Maresca, if it was under Roman Abramovich, he would have been fired, no doubt. Have you noticed that in this list of 5, 3 Chelsea managers, they don't waste time? And that's one thing that Roman Abramovich did. When you are not performing well, that means in your first season, yes, you can win the title. Chelsea have proven it thrice. 3 different managers, each of them their first season won the title. That was Roman Abramovich. He gives you the money. You cannot spend $1.2 billion and then you don't win the title. You can't spend that. So historically, it has been proven that you can come in your first season, given the support that you have, and win. And so that is it. Antonio Conte has done it. Carlo Ancelotti has done it. Jose Mourinho has done it. There is no excuse for Enzo Maresca after spending $1.2 billion. Even if he was not the one that spent all of that, you took the job. Yes, you can do it. I mean, at one particular point, I remember that match, a win against Everton, with one match in hand over, with Liverpool having one match over Chelsea. Chelsea would have been top of the table. And I was asked the question, are you title contenders? Baba said, no. We just want to win just the next match and whatever. And that was when, it was at that point that they started falling apart. Since that point, Cole Palmer, the code has cut on his goals and assists, not doing anything. So yeah, they know how to do it. And of course, the latest in that particular framework now is Arne Slot, the first Dutch coach to win the EPL, and of course, Virgil van Dijk, the first Dutch to pick up, to captain a team to the EPL title. All right. So yeah, that's it for England. So congratulations to Liverpool fans and of course to the club for winning their 20th title. That's talking about the Premier League. All right. Now let's move to Serie A, where there is quite some, the end of the season when it comes to the table in the Serie A is going to be quite interesting, of course. Inter Milan were up against Roma. They are battling with Napoli. It was quite an interesting one. Last week, we were just talking about one game to wrap up the Italian Serie A, that if the clubs are equal, that's talking about Napoli and Inter at the end of the season, they'll play a one-off game where the champion will be crowned. Just one game, and that's because head-to-head, which is the next criteria in Italy for determining champions, both of them are equal when it comes to head-to-head, both draws. But then, you've been wondering, Manchester United, why did you sell this guy? That's talking about McTominay, who scored both goals as Napoli defeated Torino 2-0. He has been a man on fire. And you're looking at Man U midfield at this particular point in time. Ugarte, Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes. Of course, Bruno Fernandes is our best player, so let's just leave Bruno Fernandes there. But you're thinking, in that particular midfield with Casemiro, wouldn't McTominay give something there? Wouldn't he? Well, I think he would. But then looking at the table at the particular moment, Napoli are 74 points, Inter Milan 71 points. They will take it up until the end. A slip-up, anything could happen. There are still quite about 4 matches to play. Let's see how the Serie A will turn off after all of that. Of course, in Spain, it's no longer news that Barcelona are champions of the Copa del Rey. They defeated Real Madrid 3-2 after extra time. So congratulations to you Barcelona fans. That was a good one. We can't live without talking about the MPFL champions. Remo Stars are champions of the Nigeria Premier Football League. Kudos to Remo Stars, wonderful there after a 1-0 win against Niger Tornadoes. That was quite a very big one here. They ended at that 1-0. So that's it. They end as champions after 35 matches, 68 points. And then for relegation places, Heartland Aqua United, Sunshine Stars, and Lobby Stars. Of course, Lobby Stars are already quite relegated here. These other 3 still have a chance to go into the to stay back, of course, in the Nigeria Premier Football League. All right, so that's it on the beautiful game for a